Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Umineko. After feeling like at least we learned a little bit of something of importance, we've now left the kitchen, have returned to the parlor, and I think... I don't really know what we're doing next, because unfortunately the text is gone again. Well, let's keep going. Alright, in the end, Natsui's order to keep everyone packed together in the parlor, that no one be left alone, and that no one leave the parlor had to be withdrawn, however reluctantly. In any case, if 11 people are shut up in the same room starting early in the morning, the air will start to get stagnant. And, after a little time had passed, everyone had started to recover from the shock of that morning. Maybe their sense of danger was weakening over time. However, it was certainly fact that 6 people had been killed inside the mansion. So, no one was completely negligent. So when they went out into the hallway for a breath of fresh air, trying to act tough, they would quickly get scared of standing there, isolated, and would eventually return to the parlor. I guess it's like the north wind and the sun. If you force someone to stay shut in, they'll resist, but if you tell them to do whatever they want, they'll come back obediently. People sure are hypocrites. When the servants finished cleaning up the meal, they returned obediently to the parlor, just as Aunt Natsui had told them to, and sat on a sofa near the entrance, patiently awaiting orders. Maria, almost as though she had suddenly finished playing witches, had returned to the pure Maria I knew well, saying, "Ooh, what in the world was that back there?" I hadn't felt even an atom of the presence of this person called Beatrice, supposedly standing behind me, invisible. However, it felt like, inside Maria, I could catch a glimpse of a little of that presence. Well, it's like Maria's completely changed. She's gone from being this kind of ditzy kid to being incredibly confident in herself and being downright creepy. Exactly, it's like she's almost an entirely different person with a different personality, even. I mean, it's creepy. It is a little freaky, though. According to Jessica, it seemed that she spotted the laughing Maria a few times. This was just bad timing, and furthermore, it was the first time I'd seen it, so it really shocked me. It doesn't sound like she has a dual personality, it just sounds like she gains a whole lot of confidence whenever she's talking about witches. Of course, that's another possibility. She does almost sound different when she's in witch mode. Right when humans are born, no one has any individuality. Even so, when they reach their growth period, their sense of self starts to be born, and they start to gain a sense of individuality. They want to be different from other people, but that doesn't mean that they will find that they're different from the others in their class, since they are learning the same thing in school and forced into the same lifestyle. When they realize that, they start off by breaking the rules in what's called the rebellious stage. Since everyone follows the rules, they want to show off their individuality by breaking them. Even people who call this behavior childish and make fun of it will realize that it's just a cute kid searching for themselves when they look at it this way. Well, I'm lecturing about all of this like I'm so smart, but I actually got it secondhand from George Anarchy. I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought it was cool to act like a jerk. Oh, phone calls, hold on. Well, that was when I was the age where you try standing out for the opposite sex.
成長期の根底には子供から脱却したいというひよこが殻を破るのに似た衝動がある。子供と大人の違いは何かわかるかい？
年齢？
Responsibility?
それとも体格？
違うよ。
Yeah,
経験だよ。
basically, experience or responsibility, I suppose.
大人が子供を見下すのは人生経験が少ないからだよ。子供が何を言っても鼻で笑ってしまうのは世間知らずのくせにと見下しているからだよ。
ああ、そういうのわかるぜ。子供の頃って妙に人生ってもう悟りきったようなことを口にして年長しゃぶりたくなるよな。
And then an adult looking at a child knows that they have absolutely no experience compared to them.
大人は子供が何を言っても世の中甘くないとか社会に出ればわかるとか鼻で笑ってる。まあ実際そうなんだけど子供的にはそういう
I know, exactly.
見下されてるみたいでムカつくんだよな。
What a bunch of jerks, those adults.
なるほどな。知識や経験の有無か。確かに年齢だけ無駄に食ってても尊敬はされねえよな。
となるとつまり子供から脱却したいという衝動を持つ時期にかつ他者とは違うという個性を持ちたくなる。子供からの脱却がつまり知識や経験なのだとしたら。
なるほど。他人の持ち得ない知識を持つことが一つのアイデンティティになるわけか。
小学校の頃なんかさ、クラスの誰も知らないことを知っていたり持っていたり身につけていたりするとヒーローになれたよな。バトラもそういう経験あるだろ？
あるある。
Well, I mean, that's what kids do. If somebody's different, when they're younger, they usually start by, it's cool or it's different. When you get older, it sort of turns into, like, pick on the kid who's different from everybody else. But when you're like a young kid, that doesn't happen as much, I feel. It's more, look, they have something that's different. They're really cool.
何か一芸に秀でたいと思うお年頃って確か。なるほど。それが子供からの脱却、つまり成長期ってわけか。
健全な意味での成長期はそうして没個性を脱却するために人が持たない知識やスキルを身につけることを促す。これは社会学的にも面白いことだよ。人が没個性を嫌うために人と違う技術を身につけようとする。これにより社会は幅広い技術を獲得して立脚する。神々の高度なプログラミングに驚かされるね。
まあ個性がネガティブに働くこともあるぜ。クラスみんなが真剣に勉強してるから俺だけはサボって目立とうとかよ。
I actually had been like that. Only recently, I'd finally been able to thank that middle school teacher who had slapped me after school.
でもな、誰も飛べない飛び箱を飛んでやりたいとか、成績のいい連中を周回遅れにさせてやるぜってマラソンで全力疾走とか。勉強はダメだったから少なくとも運動では見返してやるぜって根性はあった。うん、なるほど。ちゃんと成長期してるな俺。
男子ってやっぱり肉体的な方面に関心が向くよな。でもよ、同じ時期に女子は精神的な面に向きやすいんだよ。バトラのクラスの女子にも占いとか霊感とかそんなこと言ってる女子連中のグループがあったりしただろ？
Yeah, apparently, according to Battler, there were girls like that.
あったあった。人の星座とか血液型とか聞いてきて、ああやっぱりクスクスとか笑われると大いにムカついたもんだぜ。
Does that really happen? Because I never felt like that ever happened to me. Like anything like that at all.
どこのクラスに行っても女子は占いが好きだし、決まって霊感に強いだの弱いだの、感受性がどうこう、見えないものが見えちまうだの、そういう手合いが必ずいたもんだぜ。
占いも霊感も学校では教えないものだからね。男の子と違い 内向的な世界に関心を持ちやすい女の子にとって、それはアイデンティティを確立しやすくて、かつ興味深いジャンルなんだよ。
男子が成長期に入ると急に悪ぶったりして大人に反抗を始めるのと全く同じに、女子も成長期に入るとそういうのに興味が出るようになるんだよ。私はそうでもなかったけどさ。
つまりマリアがオカルトに関心を持つのは年頃の女の子としてはそう珍しくもないってことか。
Even if you accept that, I wonder if it explains that creepy dual personality thing. Well, I think I can accept it vaguely.
さっきも言った通り、大人になるというのは知識や経験を持つことを言う。だからそれを得るために子供たちはいろいろなことを学んで子供を脱却しなければならないんだけど、子供の世界に今も昔もはびこっているある便利な妄想があるんだよ。わかるかい？
漫画やアニメに多いだろ。ほらあれだよ、前世の記憶が蘇ってとか、偉大なるなんとかの魂が乗り移ってとか。
ああ、他にも遺伝子が覚醒したりとか、封印されていた能力やら記憶やらが戻ったりとか、いろいろあるな。どういうわけかあの時期はそういうのがやたらと流行るもんさ。どうしてだ？
今挙げたキーワードは全て子供の自分に知識や経験を直ちに付加できる幻想だからだよ。9歳の女の子も1000年を生きた魔女が私に憑依していると言い出せば、1009歳のアイデンティティが得られるわけだからね。
Okay.
まあつまり勉強するのは面倒くさい。でも人とは違うスキルを持って周りに威張りたい、ちやほやされたいっていう連中にとっては便利な妄想なんだよな。
So she could brag about something without having to work hard or study. I see. Isn't that a kid's greatest dream?
あとは子供からの脱却願望には必ず自分の理想像の自己投影が行われ、その願望の姿が別人格として形成されることが少なくない。バトラ君だって家と学校では多少キャラクターが違うということがあるんじゃないかな。多分家での自分の姿をクラスの友人たちに見せるのは恥ずかしいはずだよ。学校の自分は自分のなりたい姿の投影で、家の自分は本来の姿だから。
つまりキャラクターの使い分け。
Well, I mean, everyone does that. It's like you would talk to your friends differently than you would talk to, say, a figure that you respected. Or how you would talk maybe to a employer differently than you would to somebody you would online.
人格の多重化はごくごく当たり前だと言いたい。
Not so much multiple personalities, but different parts of your personality that you emphasize for different aspects. For example, whenever I'm talking to my employer, I'm emphasizing professionalism and hard work, whereas when I'm talking to people online, I'm more being myself. And, you know, family members, I might be a little different for that situation as well.
オカルトが好きな女子はそれを憑依と言ったり覚醒と言ったりするぜ。
I mean, it's not an uncommon
ドン引きす
idea.
るくらいにキャラを変える子もいるよ。男子にもいるだろ。キレたとか言ってやたらめったら粗暴キャラに変身するやつが。
And that's true as well.
あれ本人はかっこいいと思ってるんだろうけど、見てて痛いよな。
つまりおさらいするとだ、マリアくらいの年頃の女の子がさっきみたいな不気味な二重人格みたいなのを見せてもそれほど珍しいものじゃない。
Yeah, not really. I mean, I would say hers is a bit exaggerated, but it's not necessarily rare.
簡単にまとめるとそういうことだね。アイデンティティは 自己を形成するための大切なもの。それをバカにしたりすると、かえってその殻に閉じこもってしまうこともある。だからほどほどに付き合ってあげるのが大切なんだよ。それを丸ごと受け入れてあげるのが親の包容力というものなんだけどね。
兄貴、それで独身って信じられねえ
Well,
ぜ。
you know, he was kind of working on that before the whole
もう子
Shannon
供が
dying
中学
thing.
くらいに上がってそうな貫禄さ。じゃあローザおばさんもあのマリアの二重人格についてはよく知っていたのかな。
I'm sure she did.
知ってたぜ。ここだけの話、ローザおばさんは
Well, that was obvious. Did you not see how much she was like hitting her
気持ち
and
悪い
yelling
し、
at her?
クラスでますます孤立を深めるだけだって。だからマリアがオカルトの話を始めたり、魔女みたいな声で笑い出したりすると必ず
So she's probably happy that her mom's dead. Now she can laugh like a hyena and her mom won't slap her.
だからマリアもローザおばさんがいる時にはそういう話をしないようになったみたいだけど。
Maybe it was just a little game from a girl facing her growing period. That thing that had happened back there. Just a girl trying to show that she was different and independent by holding interest in witches and the occult. And since she wanted to be different from herself, young as she was switching between her normal personality and the personality of her ideal, a witch. In the beginning, I had found that very disturbing. But after being lectured to by George Anarchy, it felt like this was a path that everyone walked down at one time or another. I haven't told anyone, but I was in kindergarten, really. Oh, but when I was in kindergarten, I joined up with a little gang of kids trying to form an Earth Defense Force, saying we'd help protect peace on Earth. My face turns red when I remember how, during what we called battle practice, we would chant, EDF! EDF! Just like usual, Maria was relaxing, immersed in the TV, oohing and laughing just like any girl her age. But on the inside, another personality, that of the ideal witch that she respected and blindly accepted, was sleeping. But that wasn't anything extraordinary. It was perfectly natural for a girl her age. I calmed down a little. I had started to recover from that mysterious shock I had received in the kitchen. If I hadn't talked to Anarchy and Jessica, I might still be frightened by the idea that an invisible witch was standing right behind me. However, can I really accept that as an explanation of what happened back there? If it had just been Maria, I could have explained it as the fickle delusions of a growing girl. But Genji-san, Kanon-kun, and Kumasawa-chan had also been there. None of them had denied what Maria said. They had silently accepted that Beatrice exists. I was starting to feel a little uneasy. Aunt Eva had claimed that no 19th person exists, saying that someone within the family's messy quarrel had committed the crime. On the other hand, Aunt Natsui had claimed that the culprit was hiding somewhere outside of the mansion. That meant that she was denying that the crime had been committed by one of us, and accepting that a 19th person exists. And in the kitchen, Maria and the servants had agreed that a 19th person exists. But according to them, this 19th person isn't human. They had said that it was an invisible witch plotting something mysterious. Was there a 19th person? Or not? And was the culprit a human? Or a witch? For some reason, I couldn't just laugh it off. Even the most ridiculous story about the witch.
ジェシカ、ベアトリーチェの話ってのは、俺の認識では森に子供たちが迷い込まないようにってんで作った。
I feel like Jessica wouldn't know any more about this than you would.
だが、この屋敷じゃ違うのか？
私もバトラと同じ意見だぜ。こんなのは子供に言うことを聞かせるために親が作った間抜けな怪談だと思ってる。でもそうだと口にはできない空気が屋敷内にあることは否めないな。
おじい様がベアトリーチェは存在すると公言されているからね。使用人たちは立場上それを疑えないし、クラウスおじさんたちもおじい様と喧嘩がしたいわけもないから、表向きは口を揃えてる。だから多分このお屋敷ではベアトリーチェの存在を疑うことはある種のタブーだと思うんだよ。年に一度しか来ない僕たちと違ってね。そうでしょ。
Jessica took a deep breath in admiration. It looked like Aniki had guessed right.
ジョージ兄さんの言う通りだぜ。みんな腹の中じゃ信じてるわけじゃない。でも表向きはその存在を認めてる。ほら、神様の存在を認めるようなそんな雰囲気だよ。実際にはいないことを知ってても、それを口に出して否定したら野暮みたいな空気だな。
使用人たちの間ではどういうことになってんだ。やっぱり雇い主のじい様がいるって言ってんだから。
See, I don't think they necessarily have to. Like, they can just pretend, but they don't really have to believe that she exists. And I have this feeling that the employers themselves, just with how they reacted, definitely believe this. Especially with that butterfly thing that happened to Cannon at some point, I think.
詳しくはわからないけど、使用人たちの間ではベアトリーチェの話はある種の怪談扱いになってるよ。ほら、昨日海岸でシャノンが話してくれたろ。夜見回りをしている時、不気味な何かを見かけたとか、そういう話。
She had said something like that, hadn't she? Back then, I had thought that she was just being really nice to help improve Maria's mood. But it had felt like she was serious when she said it. That's right. She definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the rest had all unanimously declared back in the kitchen. Oh yeah, she did mention the butterflies to everyone, didn't she?
カノン君もそれらしいものを以前夜の見回りの時に見たことがあると言ってました。あと最近ではお屋敷の中で深夜に不思議な足音をよく聞くと使用人の間で話題です。私たちは肖像画の中のベアトリーチェ様が姿を消してお屋敷の中を散歩しているんだろうと囁き合ってるんですよ。ずいぶん前ですが、私もそうかもしれない足音を夜の見回りの時に聞いたことがあります。
That's right. She definitely said that. Exactly the same thing that I had been told just now.
でも、怯えることはないんですよ。ベアトリーチェ様は親方様とは異なるもう一人のお屋敷の主です。だから変に怯えたりしないで敬意を持っていれば決して悪いことはしないのだそうです。
ただし敬意を持たないと恐ろしいんだったね。
はい、私が務めを始める直前にベアトリーチェ様のことを悪く言っていたそうです。
Oh, that was the person that they were talking about just recently. I think the servants in the kitchen were talking about that, I think.
だから使用人たちはベアトリーチェ様のお怒りに触れたのだろうと噂し合ったそうです。
敬わないとお怒りに触れて怪我をする。つまり使用人たちにとってお稲荷さんにいたずらしたらお狐様のたたりがあるってくらいには信憑性があるわけだ。
Oh boy, let's figure out what these mean. Alright, Inari is the Shinto god of fertility, rice, and foxes, and is one of the most revered Shinto gods in Japan. This is made apparent by the sheer amount of shrines dedicated to her, along with torii and many statues of kitsune, foxes. The kitsune are white foxes that are her benevolent messengers. However, they can be malicious and generate grave disasters. Okay. So, you read it. Yeah. Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the like don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have a little respect for them. You often see it when, in a residential area, someone is building a house, and they call a Shinto priest for a ceremony to honor the god of that plot of land. You might think that it was just a big waste of time and money, but it is said that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect to do it. You also hear about how, if an Inari shrine is carelessly removed during a town replanting, there would be a curse by Kitsune-sama. I think I might have read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand an airport and had to remove a Inari-san that was in the way, all of the workers were suddenly taken out by some mysterious fever. Even in modern cities like Tokyo, it wasn't rare to see modern buildings packed all around an old Inari shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. And this wasn't limited to Japan. It's probably similar to how people baptize babies. Of course, by the Christian doctrine, if unbaptized souls have even the slightest amount of sin, they will still go to hell. Putting water on a child's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry. But if by doing just that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell, they will happily go through with that ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we were still unable to throw away every trace of belief and fear. You could say that it was a passive acceptance of the supernatural. Maybe the only difference on this island was that Beatrice was the name that was respected here.
じゃあ、つまりこの島でとても人間技とは思えない何かが起これば、それはベアトリーチェの仕業だ。
Definitely seems like a possibility here.
シャノンちゃんも言ってた気がするな。ちゃんと閉めたはずの窓や扉や鍵が。
And they couldn't explain it, so they blamed it on Beatrice.
消したはずの明かりがついていたり、つけたはずの明かりが消えていたり。
Dang, Beatrice is running up my electricity bill. Shake my fist at you.
で、確かジェシカは、朝出かけようとしたら、カバンが見つからないのもベアトリーチェの仕業だってふざけてたんだよな。
よく覚えてるな。普通なら妖精さんが隠したとでも言うところが、この島ではベアトリーチェがになるってだけの話だぜ。ま、そんなくだらない話さ。
このお屋敷も築30年くらいになるそうだからね。それだけになれば多少の怪談やオカルトは生まれてくるものだよ。学校の七不思議なんかのようにね。
そこでチェス盤をひっくり返すぜ。つまりこの島では人間にはできないことはベアトリーチェの仕業と置き換えることができるルールがあるってわけだ。人間にはできないこと。人間は何人だ ?18 人だ。つまり犯人はこの島のルールにのっとってこの事件は魔女の仕業だとアピールしてることになる。つまりそれは19人目の仕業ですよと訴えたくて仕方がないわけだ。気に入らねえぜ。
By the way, I was told that the weird dots that are appearing oddly in the text boxes have to do with one of the tweaks that I was given for this, which is a text tweak, or a text box tweak, that unfortunately has the downside of messing up lines of dots occasionally.
全然気に入らねえ。
気に入らないって何がだ。
仮に不可視の19人目が存在してそいつが自分の存在をアピールしたいなら、俺ならもっと完璧なタイミングでやるぜ。
完璧なタイミングでってのはどういう意味だい？
ああ、だって事件は深夜から未明にかけて起こったのは。深夜まで話し合いをしてたり夜勤をしてたり、あるいは部屋に帰って寝ていたり、どいつもこいつもアリバイがあやふやで十分内部犯行が疑え
Well,
る
yeah,
段階
almost none of us have a really credible alibi.
ジョージの兄貴もエヴァおばさんに聞かされてるんだろ。内部犯行の可能性が高いって話。
うん。まあね。
つまり不可視の19人目が実在したなら、最初の事件は自分のアピールに失敗してるんだ。いや、そもそも時間帯がミステイクだ。不可視の19人目をアピールするためには、死んだ6人以外の12人が全員白であることが確定している状況下で行われなければならない。疑わしい人間がゼロにならなきゃ自分の存在をアピールできないんだよ。
So, were they possibly trying to increase the suspicion then?
だから全員のアリバイが一番あやふやにな
Like
る深
increase
夜
the
の時
suspicion
間
that
帯
it could have been anybody, or make it even less likely that they would be found?
19人目にとって自分が一番あやふやになる時間帯でもあるにもかかわらず、その時間を選んで犯行に及んだ。
そんな時間に犯行を起こせば、18人の誰かが疑われるのは明白。にもかかわらず、マリアに手紙を渡して魔女を名乗り、誰もが自分でないと否定している。
つまりベアトリーチェという19人目がいるように見せかけたい人間が18人の中にいると、こう言いたい。なんだかぶっ飛んだ発想だな。まだおふくろの屋敷の外に不審者が潜んでいるって話の方が信憑性
Your
がある
mom's
って思うん
theory,
だぜ。
it's the crazy hobo in the woods.
まさかバトラはこの客間の中に犯人がいると疑っているのかよ。
ああ、何者かが俺たちにベアトリーチェが存在すると。そうさ、昨べのあの手紙からもう事件は始まっていたんだ。証拠も根拠も何もねえけどな。鉄板を逆さにした限りじゃ、俺の見立てはこんなところだ。
飛びまくってるにも程があるぜ。妙な推理小説の読みすぎじゃねえのかよ。
Or maybe I've been reading just enough weird detective novels.
でも、無視できない着眼点もあるね。19人目がいるかいないかは別にしても、その犯人は確実にこの島のルールにのっとって何かを仕掛けてきている。僕はね、今バトラ君の話を聞いていて、少しだけ気持ち悪いことを思い出してたんだよ。
How disturbing are we talking? Like Maria creepy face disturbing, or just like something else mildly disturbing?
うん。覚えてるかい？ベアトリーチェの手紙。ベアトリーチェは利子の回収を行うと言っていたね。そして利子とは後宮家の全てだと言った。
So you're saying the interest was their lives? Jessica and I thought back on what Maria had read aloud the previous night.
言ってたぜ。確かに言ってた。そして利子の回収をこれから行うが、黄金の謎を解いたらその権利を失うとも言ってたよな。
おじい様は黄金を授かり、後宮家を再興した。つまり黄金を資本に生み出したもの全てが利子だってベアトリーチェは言っている。つまり、
冗談きついぜ兄貴。
I think I'm right
ま
there.
さか後宮家の全て、つまりじい様が生み出したもの全てってことは、じい様から血を分けた一族のことを指すってのかよ。
あの手紙をそう読み解いたなら、この殺人はベアトリーチェが行った正当な利子の回収ということになる。となれば、この事件はまだ続くよ。
That's an interesting viewpoint. Disturbing, to be sure.
利子の回収はまだ途中なんだからね。
Ooh. George turned around, looking over at the parlor. There were still many people who held the name Ushiramiya. And we knew that, since Goda-san and Shannon-chan had been killed, not even the servants who didn't bear the name Ushiramiya would be spared.
私たち全員を殺すつもりかよ。
Something. When the witch is revived, none will be alive. Something.
でもおかしいよ、ジョージ兄さん。ならどうして6人だけ？他に大勢殺せたはず。下手をすれば寝込みを襲って全員を一晩で殺すことも可能だったはず。どうしてそれをしなかったの？
特別条項だよ。黄金の謎を暴く者が現れたら李氏の権利は失われる。そして手紙の最後にはこう結ばれていたはずだよ。おじい様の黄金の謎をみんなで解いてみろとね。
So if we don't attempt to solve the riddle, we're all dead.
ジーザス、ようやく犯人のメッセージが分かってきたじゃねえか。つまり犯人は俺たちにじい様のあの碑文の謎を解いてみやがると言ってるわけだ。しかもぼやぼやしてればどんどん利子の回収を進めちまうつもりだ。
Huh. I realized that this was all based on several crazy guesses. But not everything that happens in this world fits together in a perfect line. Most of the events that we don't know about yet are only individual points. By fitting them into a straight line, I was beginning to understand. The closer the points are to the line, the easier it is, intellectually, to understand them. And the farther away they are from the line, the more fragmented everything becomes. Therefore, as far as the distances between these guesses was concerned, we should call this theory crazy. However, if the distance is narrow between the points, you could call the idea limited. Would that idea be any different from reasoning? Was I just trying to force everything that I knew about the case to fit my simple imagination? No, that's not it. When you're searching around with your hands in the dark, that search is imagination. Only imagination can find points that fit with each other. Reasoning is nothing more than tying those lines together. If you can't imagine, you can't reason. What I was doing might have been crazy, but it also wasn't a mistake. Only the power of imagination could pull out a clue from the darkness. And the power of reasoning could tie those clues together. It was a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. It's alright if it's crazy. Find the weak point first. Then, we can think about how to strike. Now is the time to find the points that we can tie together later. So at the very least we're making some progress, which is good, because up until now, we've really not done a whole lot, excluding what happened last time. We're going to stop off here for today. I don't even know where to start with, like, the riddle. I don't even know where to start, because we already tried to work it out, and we didn't really get anywhere. So I don't really know where we'd even go from there. Like, we know we need to solve it, but what? Like, how are people going to get killed off? You know, are we going to get killed off tomorrow and it doesn't even matter? We can't even try to solve it? Or, I doubt that, you know, for story purposes, but could happen. You know, what's going to happen? I don't know. But, maybe we'll find out next time. So, thank you guys for watching. Bye!